What is going on, my Browns fans, people? This is the Wednesday show. We did not start off with our typical Wednesday theme song because I forgot to play it. But other than that, I am your host at Mike Killey. That's my name over right there. And then what I have with me, as always, the co-host of the Wednesday show, Mike Restano at Bonzo1273 on Twitter. It's right above there as well. So Mike, welcome back for our second Wednesday show of the year, and let's just get right into it. What were your thoughts on the game last weekend?
So I've sort of moved on at this point. I want to preface what I'm saying with the fact that I'm extremely angry at the NFL. And I say this because the All-22 the coach's film is still not available. So, you pay a premium for that service. And again, they've got the condensed game and they've got the full game. But let's be real. The majority of us that pay the money to get that service is to watch the coach's film. So I haven't been able, obviously, to do that. There are some bootleg copies that I've or subscriptions, if you will, that I hear are lurking out there. So I've been looking, but I can't find. But yeah, I mean, I went back. I watched a little of it. It's my takeaway after watching it again and just taking a step back and looking at different things and analyzing, other things. I mean, the game was there for the taking, and
Right.
They didn't beat us. I can, and me, I'm not a moral victory guy, and I will not claim this as a moral victory. But what I will say is, going back and watching it, I mean, the Chubb fumble was a freak thing. The one thing I will tell you, and I bet you if you got Stefanski one-on-one in a room without a camera or a microphone, that he would tell you that he probably should have spelled Chubb at that point, because he rattled off like 2 or 3, big 10+ yard runs prior to that. And he was probably a little bit gassed, and because he doesn't fumble. He's fumbled 4 times in his career, and 2 of those I believe were in the wet, against the Patriots. So
Yeah,
you take that freak fumble away, and 10 minutes and 52 seconds, I believe, we're up 29-20, punting the ball away. We don't know what our defense would have done, but the Scotsman dropped the ball instead of picking it up and kicking it. What happened. Everybody in the chat knows what happened, and that was the end of the game as far as I was concerned. The last play, we were rough on Baker a little bit on Sunday night, but he said he was throwing the ball away. He got his foot hooked. I hope that he learns that's a coaching, lesson for him down the road, that, if he feels that tug, intentionally ground it or throw it sideways, or just, and it's easier said than done, but just anything to live another down. Because I believe, in closing here, when you and I were talking about it on Sunday, I don't know why, but I thought it was 3rd and 2, and it was 1st and 10. They had just got that first down. So, man, what a backbreaking play. But I think those two will see each other later in the season. That's my 2 cents. How about you?
Yeah, very much so. Before I get into it, just giving a shout out to everybody in the chat. We got B Skrills here. My dad is in the chat. Keith C. Hambone, Mario G. I've gotta. Norman Baldwin Jr. from Sierra Vista, Arizona. Mr. Bsif checking in. Yeah, I think we were the better team.
Yeah.
I think we were the better team that had a couple of unfortunate things happen that then started spiraling, because the Chiefs I still think the Chiefs are very good. They're elite. They are who we thought they were, and they, in their house, this game's in Cleveland. I think it goes the other way. The like you said, the Chubb fumble, the the Scottish Hammer dropping the punt and then the Baker interception were the differences in that game. And if you give us 3 turnovers or 2.5 turnovers, I think we win that game. And it's not even, we were dominating because the drive where Chubb fumbled, we were plowing through them like butter, So I think we have a scary good offense. I think that Baker was trying to make a little bit too much happen. I think some of the criticism that he was getting, where they were comparing him to Tom Brady, they were comparing him to Derek Carr. And yeah, I get it. Derek Carr and Tom Brady went down and made it happen, but they only needed to get 3 points to tie and win the game. We had to get 4 points, meaning we had to go down and score a touchdown. And although I think we're absolutely capable of doing that, we had one timeout and we were driving, and you never know, right? We would have had a couple shots to get in there, and there could have been a miracle. We could have walked out of there with a win. But either way, I think we would have had to played a nearly perfect game. And you really kind of have to play those perfect games when you're up against the Kansas Cities, the Baltimores, Tampa Bay. You're going to have to play those games perfect. And we just had a couple things that didn't go our way that resulted in a loss.
Yeah, and to your point, not to cut you off, you have to play a perfect game because not only, is Mahomes gonna work his magic 24/7 during that 60 minutes, but then you take that play that he put JJ, he spun him like a top. Nobody in the NFL makes that play. So that's just another, aspect of it that if you don't dot your I's and cross your T's throughout that whole game, they're gonna bite you, and especially with no turnovers. Spotting them 2 turnovers, you wouldn't even think the game would be that close, right? So,
and my big criticism was that it did not appear, and I haven't rewatched the game yet, but it didn't appear that Joe Woods made any adjustments in the second half. So I kind of gave him a hard time on Twitter, where I said, can somebody tell Joe Woods that Travis Kelce is number 87 and Tyreek Hill is number 10, right? People were coming back at me like, hey, our defense was fine. We held them like in the first half. And I'm like, but see, like, that therein lies the problem. So we held them in the first half. They go into their locker room and they make adjustments. And then they come out and they start executing on those adjustments, and we start turning over the ball. Then, instead of us adjusting to what's working for them, we don't do anything. We keep playing that soft zone, and that's it. And what I was trying to tell everybody, I'm like, you want to know how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? You put our best guy on their best guy. You give them over the top coverage support, right, at the safety level, and you bump Travis Kelce at the line. Tyreek Hill can get off the line easily, but you put Denzel Ward on him. And if you go back and watch the plays where Denzel Ward was covering Tyreek Hill, he was shutting him down. So Denzel Ward is on Tyreek Hill, covering him, and we bump Travis Kelce on the line and don't let him get off. There were 2 touchdowns, one in the corner and one right up the middle. And I said to my wife, I'm sitting there watching the game with my wife, and I said, this is going to Travis Kelce. He is. And I told her right where it was. I pointed. I go, watch. He's going to drop back 1, 2, 3 and dump it. And it went right to him 2 times in a row. If I'm a random guy with a YouTube channel and a somewhat popular Twitter account, if I can call that, right? Then these guys that are making this kind of money sure as hell can. And I have no idea why Joe Woods refused to make the adjustment. There are 2 guys on the Chiefs that could beat you. 2. If you want to give me like, if you want to have like Edwards-Helaire beat you, if you want to have like Brian Pringle, if you want to have that guy beat you, fine, then they can. But you have to shut down the guys who are dangerous and weapons, and we did not do that, and it was almost like it was laughable at one point, right? And you know what? We got 2 touchdowns? Was it 2 touchdowns to Travis Kelce and 1 touchdown to Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I think so. I can't even remember. And there were times where, like, there was looking back on it, there was a play early, and you guys might remember it. It was the Chiefs are going right to left on your TV screen, and Jacques was on him, and Jacques was with him, and then it seemed that he and I mean it's a soft zone scheme, so Jacques was right there with him, but then he sort of stayed more true to his zone.
Yeah.
And then, Kelce went to the center of the field and it was open because he found the weak spot. And, it was an easy, I think, 10, 11, 12 yard completion. But the point being is, you said it and Chat was saying it, and we were talking about it on Sunday, a lot of, he plays a lot of soft zone type of coverage. And so then my question, and don't get me wrong, there was times where they went man up a few times, but 31-year-old Malcolm Smith manning up with Travis Kelce, like, that's not the answer either. No. I know Delpit wasn't there. Greedy, when we get to PFF scores, he was below the tire pressure that you would put in the tire of my Traverse, but that's for later down the road. But I just don't, why we paying people money that man cover guys, and then we're playing zone. You mentioned it earlier. Look at Newsome. He shut down. He was locked down on. And mind you, obviously he wasn't covering Hill or Kelce, but he did his job on the other side. I think there was 1 target his way. He was very, very highly rated PFF score. But so to the point is, there's no reason why, you can't take a guy like Denzel. And Jock's going to have to be the guy here eventually too. That's why you drafted him, to be able to handle that type of coverage, and he's athletic and he's fast. So, and he'll get it. He's young as the reps wear on, but I just sort of scratch my head, and I get it. It's a new defense. It's game 1, but the definition, right, of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. So, after Malcolm Smith was on his ass for the 4th time, and Travis Kelce had another 14, 15 yard gain, just try something different at that point. Man up and see if you can get a better result.
Press him.
Absolutely.
Him.
And if something happens, roll a safety over.
Yeah.
Can't get worse.
There are a couple like things that obviously weren't good in this game that happened. So Ronnie Harrison, the situation with him, okay, and then you had Jedrick Wills, who rolls his ankle, okay. So those are 2 negative things that happened to us. Yeah. Nothing bad happened to them.
No.
And they got it's like, my dad has said this for years. We've talked about the football, and he would always say they got all the breaks, and if you get all the breaks, all the turnovers, nothing bad happened. They don't have players that are getting ejected. Matthew is out, right? That's great, but so is Odell. And then they got all the breaks, and that's what happened. I think that we are just as good from an offensive standpoint. We are elite, period. Yeah. Like, we're going to score about 30 points, give or take, every game.
Yeah.
We are that good. When it comes to, and the kicker did his job, even though it was ugly, it didn't look pretty. The job was done.
Yeah, went through.
It went through. So I'm more concerned about, and you and I have talked about this. This is like the theme of the Wednesday show. Yeah. Is so far we have not seen elite middle of the defense play, specifically in the linebackers, and it is the Achilles heel of this team. And if you go back to look where they beat us the whole day, they beat us right in the middle of our defense
all day.
all day
And
long.
and Mike, and it's not even, and you can't even say, oh well, it was just they were beating the middle of the field short, uh, you know, in just in the passing game. I mean, once again, and I can't remember who it was, and I don't, we have our moments, and we don't like to pile on, but I can't remember who it was, maybe Tron Madden or somebody, but they made Mac Wilson on a twister board on that missed tackle on Mahomes when he ran it in left to right.
Mm.
The tackling was just atrocious. You text me and said, man, if Mac Wilson makes that tackle, Ronnie Harrison never gets in the melee.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, all right. I mean, my patience is worn very thin with Mac Wilson, not just for what he's doing on the field, but what he's doing off the field. And this has been documented last year, where he's arguing with people on Twitter, right?
Not even a full 24 hours later.
No, it's like on the Wi-Fi on the plane home.
Yeah. And then in the morning, like on the drive in, like, is he texting and driving?
I mean, for me, I'll tell you this, on my Twitter account, I've learned the lesson that not everybody's going to agree with you. And sometimes people are going to be shitty. And
Right.
Sometimes I'm shitty to, celebrities out there who have like lots of followers.
Hey, it's your prerogative.
Sometimes I'm shitty to them,
Yeah.
because, you don't have to be mean to people. And sometimes I go after them, especially the Cleveland media. I go after those guys too.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, when people come at me negatively, you have a choice. You can ignore it, or you can engage. And if you engage, you better be ready to keep going, because most times when people have like 30 or 40 followers, they don't care. It's no skin off their back. So they're going to keep coming at you. And so what I learned was I just use the mute button. The mute button is my favorite thing, because they can bark, and it doesn't matter because I never see it.
Yeah.
If anybody gets super negative with me, I never see it. And you know what? You know who else I mute? Like, all the I'm not saying all of them, but there's a lot of women in Brown's Twitter,
right,
that are in it for they're just in it to take selfies of themselves and then get like guys to simp on them, just to worship them for like taking a picture because they're wearing Brown's apparel.
You were at your wit's end with that.
I just mute it. I just mute it. I'm like, I just mute it. Anybody who's out there who's not adding, and this isn't just goes for like women that are trying to get Instagram followers, because I get it. Like, it's a thing. Like, I talk on Twitter to get people to follow us on YouTube. But like, I like add something to the community. Add your thoughts, right? If you're just taking a picture of yourself, scantily clad wearing a brown something, I'm like over that for some reason. Now, there's a lot of amazing women on Brown's Twitter, and really, really cool girls that know a crap load about the team and then get shit on by guys for just being women. And I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who add no value. So again, my point was, Mac Wilson has the ability to use the mute button, or if he's really, really offended, he can use the block button. Right? I think that's a silly thing to do because it shows that like your feelings were hurt. Just use the mute button. Just use it. And don't bark back, because you look immature and it makes you look very weak and weak-minded. So, and then on top of it, dude, it is, and I cannot wait for the PFF, because let's do that next, because I'm starting to like get sweaty about it. So just for everybody who's out there watching, we got PFF Premium this year because I wanted to arm Mike with as much data that we could go and talk about on the Wednesday show as possible, And then after the Wednesday show, I'll then go in and look at it for like fantasy stuff and everything like that. But I'm so excited about this. But just for this, just the smell test, right? Just the smell test on him was
and before we get
horrible.
Oh yeah, you'll see. But before we get into that, I just wanted to touch on one thing that you were talking about, and then we'll put it to bed. But one thing that and don't get me wrong, I love the kid. I love the way he plays. I think he is genius in the At Home with Baker Mayfield commercials. It was like a match made in heaven, these two. But if the game's still going on, I don't want my players in the locker room, even if they're hurt, tweeting.
Yeah, just focus on the game.
You know what I mean?
It's like it's your job. It's like
yeah, like I didn't. When hey, you want to get on there and say we're good, and I know you're okay. I'm all about it. But like the rah rah and the rooting and oh, what was that or whatever? Like I don't know. It's just not. You know what it is? It takes me. I think of football.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the organization, and I think of our old GM text messaging down to the field.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So remember that. So ever since that happened, like when I hear, or see like any type of message that might be coming from a Brown, and there's an actual game going on, I don't like it. But that's just my
Ray
2
Farmer.
cents. Yeah, Ray Farmer. Yep.
That guy.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. There's a time and a place. I love Jedrick Wills, just like you.
Yeah.
Like I love him. I think he's awesome. He's good friends with some of my friends, and I think he's a great dude and everything. But I agree. I just feel like, personally, I wouldn't want them to be tweeting live during the game, and then also, Mac Wilson's really got to just learn to use the mute button or just get off Twitter. Like you're not doing it. Just make your account private and talk like after you're done playing. Because I honestly think if I'm the coaches or I'm the front office, it's so easy to monitor. They could just use dogwoofs.com and they can monitor all the Brown stuff if they want to do that. And it just makes you look silly and it makes the organization look silly.
Just not my thing. Just, after the game, okay. But,
during the game.
If you're in the locker room tweeting, then you should be on a crutch out on the bench. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So let's take a look at the PFFs.
All right. So where do you want to start with the obvious? Do you want to start there? Or
I want to start with the linebackers. I do.
Okay. So we're not even going to talk about Ronnie Harrison's score because the guy played 5 plays. So
doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
The defense is really the key. The offense was amazing.
So one that's not surprising. Malcolm Smith. So obviously Ronnie's gonna bring up the rear because he played 5 plays like we said. So out of the 21 defensive players that were scored, Ronnie was 21. All right. So and that is what it is.
I wonder if they ding him for getting ejected.
I don't know. His scores are low, by the way. Obviously, because he's 21st. But let's put it this way: on the 5 plays that he played, he rated out at a 29.2. So
basically, he failed.
Yeah, he was 26.5 in tackling, 48.2 coverage wise, and rush defense he was 60. But we go to Malcolm Smith. Okay. He comes in at the I feel like Casey Kasem doing the doing the countdown back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So at number 20,
okay,
we've got Malcolm Smith. So let's
imagine if Joe Woods had access to a PFF scoring person live during the game to be like, hey Joe, Malcolm's not doing good. He's doing like really poorly. how about you don't put him on and have him cover one of the best tight ends to ever play football? It's not like you're putting him on like, Ebron or, even somebody who's like pretty good, like Logan Thomas. They're putting him on a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame.
I got to tell you, with this score, if Eric Ebron played against him every week, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably. Well,
So,
what was what was his
all right,
overall number?
so we'll go overall, and then we'll go straight to coverage, and then we'll work back.
Okay.
So Malcolm Smith's overall score was a 29.6. Okay, and let's remember, everybody, this is out of 100, right? This is out of 100.
And a by the way, 100 is pretty much unattainable. I don't think I've ever seen it. Or I mean, most if you play excellent, if you play nearly perfect, your score is like a 95. Like it's very hard to score.
Very
100.
hard, and yeah, and even I mean, you could say a 92 is like
perfect. Yeah, it's like pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So he was a 29.6 overall, and coverage wise, he was a 29.9. Pass rush was, I mean, whatever, 54.4. But what I find funny is he's a 62.7 on the rush defense, but tackling wise, he's a 29. So he's not tackling and he ain't covering. And no disrespect to Malcolm Smith. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, wasn't he the Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, like
a
long time ago.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I had less gray hair back then, but yeah. So no disrespect to Malcolm, but I mean, they put him in a impossible task for someone of his tenure at this point.
Right.
So, and Daniel, we will get to talking about Baker, but you know us, we have to give you what ails us from the defensive side of the ball before we can get to all the great offensive positive stuff. So we promise it's coming. I promise you. All right, where do you want to go now?
Let's keep going down the list.
Let's go. All right.
Who else? Who came in and with the bronze trophy of bad?
And Greedy played. I'm sorry. Well, he's next, so I gave it away. But Malcolm Smith played 17 total snaps. And I swear to God, Kelsey caught 17 passes.
17. Imagine like, imagine playing 17 total snaps, right? And just not performing well on like, let's just say 30% of them. Like that's the best you can do. And I know that's not how they score, but let's just say that. That means you're batting like less than 1 for 3.
I mean, you're under the Mendoza if it was legit baseball scoring.
Right. So, I mean, the defense, I was really hoping that we were going to come out and really be able to give them a smack in the mouth.
Yeah, I thought so.
But I also think there's something to be said that we probably shouldn't. I don't think we're overreacting, by the way, guys. We're just criticizing. We're just giving you the facts. This is what PFF said. This isn't just what we said. But this is what PFF is saying.
Yep.
And so it just gives us another data point to validate what our eyeballs saw during the game. That's it.
Yeah.
You said Greedy's up next?
Yes. And just for the record, Greedy and Malcolm Smith were 50% missed tackles. But anyway, I digress. So Greedy played 8 plays. And he was a 32.6 and a 31.5 in coverage and a 27 tackling and a 60 on the rush defense.
Here's Here's my thought on Greedy, and I thought Greedy was a bubble guy to get cut before the season, right? I thought he was, when you have that kind of injury and you're coming back, who knows? Honestly, who knows what, like how healthy he is? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, he hasn't played football in a long time, like real full speed, not messing around against second, third string guys, real football in that long, and we're playing against what some would argue, outside of maybe the Browns, the best offense in the league. And, Greedy Williams looked less than pedestrian out there. And it makes me super nervous for him because if you're only getting 8 plays, I remember when I played football, if you only play 8 plays, it's not even worth playing football. It's like, that's not football. That's just, okay, go in and come back out. Like 8 plays is nothing. And imagine if you were mentally going into a game, I'm only going to see 8 snaps. I would have been like, these are going to be the best 8 snaps that this team has ever seen. But, again, not good.
Yeah. So here's where it's interesting, right? And I say that because you know who the next winner is.
If I had to guess, it would be Mr. Wilson Sr.
It would be. And so he had 22 plays.
It's a lot of plays.
A lot of plays. And now let's put it this way. So he played 22 plays, just to put it into perspective. John Johnson, Walker, MJ Stewart, Newsome, and Ward all were 60 plus total plays in the game.
Okay. So they played out of the total snaps that were available, Mack Wilson played in about a third of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how many did Malcolm Smith play?
17.
Okay. So it's not like they were out there the entire time, but still out there enough that they could have made a contribution.
Yes, and what's interesting is, so I'll give you Mack Wilson, and then I want to jump up for a second,
okay,
because I want to make a comparison, if you will. So if you look at Mack Wilson, he had an overall score of a 40.5. Now, they did say Mack has been improved in the during training camp and the preseason games, and maybe I would agree, because usually Mack Wilson is like a 32.5. So a 40.5, I mean, there is progress, but not quick enough that we'd like to see, at this level and, continuously staying in the lineup. So his coverage grade was a 33.1. Now, here's where it's interesting. His rush defensive grade was a 63.1, right? Now, this is where, for me, PFF gets a little bit tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because his tackling grade was a 76.9. And I got to tell you, I didn't see 76.9 on the field. So that's a little wonky to me.
Yeah, the 2 big plays, the Ronnie Harrison play where he got ejected. That guy ran past. I don't remember who it was, who was like had the ball for Kansas City, but he ran past Mack Wilson and shed that tackle like he wasn't really even there.
Yeah,
right. He just arm tackled him with no aggression. And it was almost like he was trying to slow him down for somebody else to come and tackle him, and Ronnie Harrison did.
Yeah.
And then the really bad, the Pat Mahomes play, which I'm still wondering, if you're Mack Wilson and you have a chance and he had somebody covering the sideline, right? So he had somebody covering the sideline. So this is the awareness that comes into the game, right? If Pat Mahomes, if he goes to the sidelines, he's either going to get knocked out or tackled. Why not step up and and aggressively go after him. But instead, he was paralyzed and he got, I guess, juked out of his mind. Not saying that that Pat Mahomes is Lamar Jackson or that he's a very, very good athlete. He has very, very good bloodlines from an athletic standpoint, and he's a very good athlete. But Mack Wilson, to sit there and watch him break his ankles like that, I mean, you and I were texting immediately. Like, here we go again. Here we go again.
Here's the interesting thing, which and it's funny how this thing works, because this circles all the ways back to your comment at the beginning of the PFF segment of you saying, could you imagine if Joe Woods had, the PFF stats on hand, live?
Yep.
But, and again, we always say this, it's not the be all end all, but I just gave you, so Malcolm Smith had 17 total plays. Mack Wilson had 22. Out of Malcolm Smith, out of his 17 total snaps, 11 were in coverage. Okay. And for Mack Wilson, out of his 22 total, he was half and half, 11 rush plays and 11 coverage plays, which probably is the factor as to why his tackling grade was a little bit higher. But so you take those two guys who, out of those 22 plays, I mean, they were on Kelsey the majority of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so let's just throw that out there. Those are your two main cover guys of number 87. Well, if we climb, right? I'm climbing up the defensive ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some certain linebacker played 25 snaps, 6 in rush defense, 15 in pass coverage, right? At a 55.2 coverage, 65.7 in the pass rush, a nice 76 tackling score, 78.3 rush defense grade, and a 69.5 overall. So 25 plays, 15 coverage, 6 rush defense. The number 4th ranked player on our defense, who was it?
JOK?
Yes, it was. So this goes back to what I was saying on Sunday is, sure, I'm sure there were mental lapses. And again, I didn't get to watch the 22, so it's difficult to try and pinpoint when you're watching the regular TV version.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to my point that I was saying on Sunday, which was throw the kid in and let him swim, because clearly 25 plays, 4th ranked, 4th best player on our defense. We know what we knew, which was the kid could play, right?
Yeah.
So let him play. Let him play. I'd rather see him get toasted 16 times, but it's a learning experience, as opposed to trotting out old man Winter and letting him cover, or, Twister.
Yeah, I think that what's going to happen, and this is what I predicted earlier in the preseason, that if Mack Wilson makes this team, and if he's out there early on, it is going to be very apparent that he is not the solution long term, because he hasn't shown it. Now, let me say this. Let's say that those scores were opposite. Mack Wilson was the 4th best guy on our team, and JOK was the 19th best.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would have told me two things. Number one, it would have told me that Mack Wilson has made significant improvements.
Yep. And
all of the hype about him in the preseason and everything would have been good. It also would not have been it wouldn't have been like a big problem for JOK either, because he's a rookie. And it would have just said like, okay, you just got to get better. That's the baseline. Like you come in, you didn't play that well, and we got to improve. But for a guy who's been in the league for a couple years, and to be completely outplayed by a rookie who's seen one preseason game.
Yeah, and he was out. He had COVID for a little while. Then he had the stitches in his head.
Yeah,
couple of preseason, right?
I think he might have played the second preseason game as well. Okay, yeah. So you got completely outplayed by this guy, and I think all they're doing is like, look, I don't know why they're taking their damn time with him. Micah Parsons was out there. Newsome was out there. Just unless there's some sort of looming health issue that you're afraid of, like let the kid play, please.
Yeah. I think, and I hope that we're going to see more of him this week. I can't imagine that you don't. And Stefanski said there were some good things on tape and there were some bad things on tape, but he's a young guy and he's smart. They said he has a great understanding of the defense. I did hear, I don't remember which, it might've been Stefanski that was talking about it, but so
Ara just made a really good point. JOK is a crazy talent. Mac was a late rounder for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and the thing too, and I get it because, I don't want to go backwards, but I don't condone, shitting on somebody on Twitter all day long.
Right.
But also at the same time, I don't think that you should get into a back and forth with a civilian. But with that being said, I mean, we crush him a little bit on here, but not Mac Wilson, like the kid, Mac Wilson, he's a really good kid. He's a good, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's just not a very good football player. And Saban said it. Saban said when he came out, he said he did not agree with it. He wasn't ready and he needed to stay in school.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah. I think, my only criticism, I'm not, for him as a man, I have no problem. Like, I mean, he just had a kid and everything like that. I know he's trying to figure life out, right? Whatever. But I think that if I could give him some advice, it's like, Mac, just get off Twitter, man. Don't argue with people like us. Like, it's silly because you've got some people that will, they'll see that interaction and they will just continue to probe it, make fake bot accounts. I mean, some people get crazy with that stuff. So just don't give them any fodder. Just stop doing it.
Yeah.
And focus, go in the weight room, go do some bench presses, like go do something, but don't tweet. It's a bad look, and it just, to me, it shows immaturity. These guys are making a lot of money, and they have the potential to make a lot of money. A 30-year linebacker, right? Yeah. I mean, he's getting close to that next contract. It's like, don't give anybody any reason to not give you that contract. Just go out there and play. And I think one of the reasons why he responds to people is because I think there's a little bit of truth to what they're saying. They're criticizing him, and it's truthful because he's not performing. So that's what it's like. He's upset about it, but it's the truth, right? So anyway, let's move on. Mr. Bisef is asking for Newsome's grade.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny that you ask because he comes in at number 3. So the top 3 really get me excited. That's
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, the top 3 get me excited.
Well, who was number 1?
So let's go right to number 1. And it's a kid that what a redemption story. Comes to camp, kicks ass in the preseason games, and then it just transfers over into into game 1, and that's Malik McDowell. 83 score, 76 rush defense, 71 tackling. I mean, it's funny because he had no pass coverage, but he still had a 60, and we know that's bogus. But I just think I just thought that was funny.
That is funny.
But yeah, so Malik is at 1. I saw his presser today. I don't know if you saw it. I really, really like him. I feel like, and again, it's one game, so I don't want to. I don't want to put the cart before the horse by any stretch of the imagination. But he's got that big time feel to him. You know what I mean? And something that we haven't had in the middle of our defense for a very long time. He almost reminds me of like a stronger Russell Maryland. If you remember him back from the Cowboy days. So I'm interested to see. I mean, he ate against the Chiefs, so I mean, I can only imagine, what he's going to do, on Sunday. But I mean, that's the push that we've been missing in the middle. And another, there was actually a tie for 4 with Jock, because they just happen to have the same score. But that's another guy that missed all of camp and had a great game, was McKinley with a 69.5. And so you've got Malik at 1. You've got Denzel at 2, which is great. 74.4 overall, 72.8 in coverage, and a 79.2 in tackling. And then on top of that, what really makes you smile, and I'm as you can tell, I'm getting excited about it. But then you look at number 3, and it's Greg Newsome, and his scores are almost identical to Denzel Ward. Almost identical. You're talking about a 72.8 coverage for Denzel to a 72.4 for Newsome. 79.2 tackling for Denzel. He had a little bit more opportunities. 72.8 for Newsome. And then the two of them, 71.8 in the run defense. Newsome a little bit lower at 64.4. But man, for his first game against Kansas City, 44. He played, Newsome and Ward both played 63 snaps. And
that's really nice. That's really nice.
And identical coverage, 43 snap counts for Denzel and 44 for Newsome.
You know what Ara said? Ara said that Malik is the number 3 overall defensive player in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
I mean,
and it wasn't a powder puff, event that first game. I mean, it was the defending AFC champions. And
I got to hand it to that offensive line, because 3 rookies, they didn't, I know Mahomes got hit a couple times and he scurried out of the way a couple times and made some things happen. But for the most part, I mean, they didn't let Clowney and Myles Garrett play a factor till the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah. And Mike, to that point, I mean, Myles and Clowney they were 6 and 9 at 69 and 67, which is still in the green and still a great score. So, I mean, even Joe Jackson was a 64-7. The guy played 10 snaps and had a crucial sack. So, I mean, you can't ask for anything more from a rotational guy, from that standpoint. So
basically what you're saying is the same problem we had last year, for the most part, the middle of our defense and our safeties.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Walker was your best graded linebacker. He graded out at a 59.6, 82.1 tackling, and that's what he's known for. 61.1 in coverage. It wasn't horrible, wasn't great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you go 1 through 16, like John Johnson he played 60 snaps, 43 in coverage. He had a 55.4 coverage score and 82 tackling. He came in at 16th ranked, at 55.7. I mean, he had a tall task all day, especially with Harrison out.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at your top ranked linebacker, and 25 snaps is nothing to sneeze about. I mean, he still had, almost half of what some of the top, total snap counts were. he comes in at 4, but let's take him out for a second. So you're looking at Anthony Walker with a 59.6, Taki with a 57.1. It wasn't horrible.
He wasn't a factor though.
No, not a factor. But then when you get down to that, that last linebacker spot, the talent drop off is significant. And unfortunately for us, that's the linebacker spot that covers the tight end. So
yeah,
it's one game. I think we're going to see a ton of progression. And I think that we all know the writing's on the wall that that depth chart is going to say Jeremiah Owusu, Koromoa, first team probably in the next couple of weeks. And I think then, we'll start to see it gel. I mean, you look at the back end and you look at the defensive line, to your point, it's the linebacker play. And Anthony Walker is good though.
Yeah.
And if Taki can get back to where he was at the end of last year.
Well, he started off slow. He's started off slow the last 2 seasons. So, we haven't seen the best of Taki.
No. And we didn't, and Delpit's coming back. So, I mean, this defense really, really, really can shape up into some, I mean, I'm going to say it, into something elite, right? I mean, think of this defensive line. If Malik is as real as we think he is.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We had a really rough draw week 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that the scary thing about this is we had an elusive quarterback, and we have 3 more, and I guess you could give 4 if you count Tyrod. Okay? So we're going to see elusive quarterbacks 4 more times this season. And I would say all 4 of them are more mobile than Pat Mahomes. Now, none of them have Pat Mahomes' overall skill, right? So they don't have the passing, they don't have the awareness that, or really the weapons that Pat Mahomes has. Okay, so I mean, certainly not the Texans. You could make an argument for the Cardinals with Kyler Murray and Hopkins and some of those guys. You could make an argument there, and then with what's going on in Baltimore, who knows? But I am really, really afraid right now of tight ends beating us. The Raiders have an elite tight end. The Ravens obviously have an elite tight end. We have to have a way to stop those guys. And if it's going to be, and Logan Thomas beat us up a little bit last year too, we have got to find an answer for the middle of the field and right up the middle. We have to.
And it could be Delpit. You know what I mean? It certainly could be.
Yeah.
But he's got to get on the field. But and that's the other thing too. I think once he's healthy, you're gonna, well, let's put it this way. Once Delpit's healthy, and if he is as advertised, as good as advertised, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then Joe Woods should have no excuses, like 0. He should be able to scheme against anybody that comes in our house or we go to their house.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
I'm just hoping that JOK continues to do as well as he did, and Newsome as well as they do, because those guys are anchors in this defense. Those are that blood. We need that youth and that blood to continue to get better for us for many, many years to come. Right. Yeah. So that's great. It's a great sign that they were able to do that against one of the best offenses and who I think is the best quarterback in the league. Yeah. Right. So that's really good stuff. Now,
Shall we go to the offensive side of the ball?
Let's go to the offense.
All right.
Ara made a good point as well, or somebody made a good point. I can't remember who it was. I have to look back and said Billings has been as much of a disappointment.
Oh yeah, he
Mr. Rolla,
was
Billings has been as much of a disappointment as McDowell has been a surprise.
agreed, and he was down the list. He was down at 17 with a 46-7.
Yeah,
He only 11 snaps.
it's not good. It's not good.
No.
But we'll see. I mean, again, it's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs
Yep.
in Kansas City. So, we have our biggest test of the year. We didn't pass it, but we didn't fail it either.
You know
what I
who's
mean?
number? You know who? Before we go to the offense, not to cut you off. You know who's number 8 though? Malik Jackson played a really nice game.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He had a sack, right?
I believe he did.
Yeah, I think he got to Mahomes.
No, he didn't.
He did?
3 hurries.
Okay, well, maybe I saw him just knocking
Yeah.
over them. Who had the sacks in that game?
Garrett had 1 with Clowney
Yep.
and Joe Jackson. There were 3.
Joe Jackson. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Again, defense still can improve. I think from what you're telling me about the players and the grades that we saw,
Yeah.
I think that there can be some adjustments that are going to be made with the amount of snaps that are distributed amongst that squad.
Yeah.
And we have to be able to make adjustments. Like, I mean, even going back to high school, in halftime, they're going to make adjustments and you're going to make adjustments. You have to decide, are you going to react to them or are you going to be proactive and make some changes?
Yeah.
It didn't look like we did anything. And to leave, I refuse to believe, I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that Travis Kelce is just uncovered, uncoverable. Like, you just have to if it's not working, just do something else. And if that doesn't work, then fine, throw your hands up in the air.
Right.
But just to let him get clean releases off the line all game, it's like, bump the damn guy. But because we play this soft zone, and you know what? I'm not going to even stop calling it a soft zone. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a mini prevent.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because it doesn't look aggressive. It's like we have everybody in this mini prevent, everybody who's not on the defensive line, and then it's like it's Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, and it's like, go get the quarterback. And I just felt like that was like 80% of the plays. And it's so frustrating to watch elite talent just get absorbed into a freaking zone. And it's so beatable. It is so beatable. If you're a quarterback, you know how to beat the zone. You know where your guys are going. You wait for that to happen. You read it, and then they settle down into the zone, and you dump it, and then that's it. And they did that all day. Oh, it's frustrating to watch. So I hope Joe Woods is. I'm sure Joe Woods is going to watch the Wednesday show. I'm sure he's going to get the memo on this.
I wonder, and we would still be talking about who's getting toasted here and who's getting toasted there, and what have you. But, somewhere there's an alter universe, and Chubb didn't fumble, and the Hammer didn't fumble. And what's the score of that game? Are we saying,
does Baker even have to force the ball down the field?
Yeah. Like, how did Joe Woods have such a good game? Everybody was wide open. They had a million yards receiving, and they held them to 17 points. I mean, really, if you go back and you take that drive with the Chubb fumble,
mm-hmm.
That was another one of those drives that 4 or 5 minutes that you were going to eat off the clock. So
so
if he doesn't fumble, and then you don't have the and I mean, we won't even go to the punt, because if you don't have that fumble there, there's no telling what happens. But you eat so much time off the clock there, theoretically, they may not have enough time left to put up 20 points. So that was I'd like to see the schemes a little bit better, but to think back of maybe what that would have looked like had that drive just continued, because they were just going to pound the rock and just burn clock like they did for many a possession in the first half. So, but we'll get on to the offensive scores. But my last thing on that was I'm not even mad that we lost the game in terms of we're 0-1. We went there. It was a hostile environment. We should have won the game. What gets me mad is I just know, and I could be wrong, right? Because I'm wrong a lot of times, but I could be wrong. But I have this strange suspicion that was. I think we saw the AFC Championship game. I think that's what it's going to be again this year. But I feel like this game may have put us back to Arrowhead, as opposed to maybe it would be at our house. So that's really the only thing that I'm angry about, and I'm putting the cart way before the horse.
But it's not far fetched. It's not far fetched that we would have a similar record and they would get the tiebreak head to head. So we have to take care of business, and
absolutely
we just have to for the rest of the year. But before you get to the offense, can you go to your spreadsheet and can you give us the uniform reveal for week 2?
So week 2 is going to be.
And by the way, what were you correct week 1?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so let's see what week 2 is.
So week 2. Let me make sure that I have this right. I tweeted it out earlier, so I want to make sure that I'm right on this.
Okay.
For the peeps at home. But I got us right down to the socks. You're not going to find that anywhere else, by the way.
You're not.
So where did it go? I'll tell you what. Let me go somewhere else. My top secret files, if you will.
Okay.
So as I'm looking at my top secret files, we're in our traditional brown, white pants, white socks.
Traditional brown on white.
Brown on white. And just for a little excitement, I could give you next week's if you want.
Yeah.
So next week we're going to be looking at the 1946. So we're going to have the white jersey, the 1946 throwback, white pants, and only here you're going to get this with the white socks.
So 46, and that we are breaking that here at Brownie Postgame.
Yep.
We are going white socks.
Yeah.
1946 against the Bears. And let's not go any further than that because it's too much excitement for me.
It is too much excitement. And I will say this, and I might have tweeted it out somewhere along the line today. Someone was questioning my factual content. I will say, and you can dig through my tweets if you want to try and find it, but all I'll say is that the next time we wear the 1946, it is not going to be home. And that's all I'll say.
Okay. I wonder if it'll be Pittsburgh or Baltimore.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to reveal it.
Okay.
But I did. If you go digging,
I will not. I won't dig. Just like Ryan Burlow's asking how you got it. By the way,
I can't give that information. But the one thing that I can give you is, as of right now, 1946 is taking the spot of the Color Rush. You're not going to see the Color Rush jersey this year. If you do, it's a last minute change. And it's because the Browns heard me revealing uniforms and they want to trip me up. But as of right now, not in the cards.
Interesting. Cleveland BCI, what's going on? Just give me one more.
One more jersey
I want, yeah.
combination.
And Michael Gradowski asked for it.
He
What are we doing Christmas Day?
Green Bay Christmas Day. You. I believe you're in 1946.
So that's got to be the Color Rush because those are like, the big games.
So yeah. So Green Bay. So Green Bay,
Oh,
and
you know what
you could write it down. So when we get to that game, and you're like, "Yep, he had it right down to the socks." It's going to be the white, white, and white again.
wait. Okay, so interestingly, okay, so the Browns play the Packers. Thank God they're playing the late game that day
Yeah.
because that's gonna mess up my whole Christmas. It's gonna be impacted by this, right? Because obviously we're gonna have Christmas, and then we're gonna have the Brownie post game Christmas special, right? We're gonna be live pre and post
That is exciting. That is very
Christmas
exciting.
Christmas Day Brownie post game pre and post, which will be fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some fun stuff for that.
Maybe I'll put a Christmas outfit on. I don't know.
Maybe I will as well. We my kids have all the Browns Christmas pajamas, so they wear the Browns Christmas pajamas every year, and I think I actually might have them too. I don't remember actually. If I do, you know what? You know what I got today? So I told you about that whole Labatt Blue thing. Did I tell you
Yeah.
about Labatt Blue? Just for everybody in chat, Labatt Blue Light reached out to me on Twitter and asked me for my address and proof that I was 21.
Did you send it
And
in yet?
yeah, and I got it today.
Oh, you did.
I did. I'm gonna
That was
tweet.
efficient. Wasn't that last week? You told me about that.
It was, yeah. It was like right, but it was the week before the first game.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't mess around, man.
No, they don't. So tell us what'd you get?
So I got a 12 pack of
Yeah.
of Labatt Blue Light, which
You
is
gotta
nice.
you gotta drink that when we play the Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drinking it. Probably I'm gonna have it in the cooler or in the fridge for the Texans game because why not? And then I'll break
Yeah.
it out. I'll break it out on stream. I don't know if I'm allowed to drink alcohol on stream now that I'm official partner. I'd have to look into that actually. I don't know if that's something that I can or can't do. I don't know. But I will be drinking some Labatt Blue Light, and they gave me a flag, a big flag, of like a Labatt Blue football themed flag that I'm going to put behind me. It's going to be somewhere, probably behind where that light is. I'll put the Labatt Blue. I'm remodeling in here, by the way. So I'm going to be moving a whole bunch of crap around. You notice my daughter's computer's not bad. And then the other thing that they got me, the Browns Zuba pants.
Ooh.
The Browns full Zuba.
I feel, you know
full.
what? I got to tell you, if any type of pant, right, screamed Zuba, right, or any day, any game, it would be the Christmas game. Waking up on Christmas morning with the kids, you throw your
The
Zuba
Zuba's on.
Browns pants on, and I mean,
Oh man.
it's a great day already. Hey, speaking of great days, I forgot, right, that we always pepper a little bit of coffee in here, right?
Yeah.
So I am, and you guys are going to call me basic or whatnot, but I might have revealed this, last year, but I love pumpkin everything. I love it. Pumpkin beer, pumpkin coffee.
You're like a sorority girl.
I really am. I mean, I went through the drive-through at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
And when I found out that they had pumpkin munchkins, that Jonah Hill, the that meme of him like that.
Yeah.
That was me. I'll throw it out there. But this will be a quick little shout out. if you guys like a pumpkin coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not pumpkin head.
Could be made out of pumpkin head. Who knows?
This is so good
Sweetie pie?
that that I had to bring it on the show. Sweetie pie, pumpkin coffee, delightful.
Is this a paid endorsement? Or
No,
are you just plugging them at the goodness
I
of your
am
heart?
just plugging them because it's that good.
Maybe we should reach out to the Sweetie Pie people.
Maybe
and
we
see
should. Maybe we should.
We should reach out to the Sweetie Pie people and be like, we're big. That's how we got the Victory Monday mug giveaway,
Yeah.
because we were just so big fans of it and had so much fun with it that we just reached out to them, and I got to meet the owners and talk to them, and I threw out the promotion idea, and they were like, yeah, sure, you can give one away. I bought enough stuff from these guys that most of the time the Cleveland t-shirt company people and everybody does that stuff. They're totally happy to give some stuff away, to an audience that's out there. But so for every victory, we're going to give away a Victory Monday mug. And for today, we're actually going to give away, since we didn't do the Sabo apparel giveaway on Sunday, we're going to give the Sabo apparel giveaway away right now.
Nice.
So type in your number in chat right now, and I have my number that's in. So I've typed it in. My hands are off keyboard. So type in your number now for a chance to win a shirt by our good friends over at Sabo Apparel. They are some of the most loyal Brownie post game advertisers or friends of the show. They don't really advertise, but it's more about just supporting us from a show perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. And when I go up there, so when I'm up there for the Halloween game,
Oh, I can't wait.
I want to try to stop by the Sabo Apparel store. I don't know where it is. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, so I want to try to stop by the store and because I'm going to be staying right there in downtown Cleveland, so I'm just going to walk around where to, see if we can pop in some of the places and, take some pictures with some people and do all that kind of stuff. I'll buy a whole bunch of crap from them and, make it fun and be like, hey, thanks for giving away a couple things. Here's $500 worth of stuff that I can bring home with me. Yeah, so Sabo Apparel shirt. Everybody, good luck on that. I'll wait for the numbers to stop coming in, and we'll go ahead and pick a winner there. Okay, okay, so that's good news. So we got that. Oh, by the way, for these Zubaz pants,
Yeah.
don't they kind of look a little bangly to you? That's
Let
my
me see
only
them again.
problem. That's the only problem is they look like a little bit bangly.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but
But it's kind of like the style of the
it could,
pants.
yeah, and you could look at it like it's a dog, but it is kind of bangly. But doesn't it have the
It's got the
it
helmet.
has the helmet on the other side?
I'm trying to figure out where that is. It's got the helmet on it. So, I mean, they're awesome. I mean, I was actually thinking about buying it. They actually even look, I'll be honest, I don't know if you can see on the camera. They actually even look a little faded, brand new. Because these puppies are going to fade with one wash.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what I keep seeing online, and I want to do it, and then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with that? I have like 96 Browns jackets hanging in my closet.
Okay.
Some that I haven't even worn, but I keep stumbling across the chalk line one. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
One with the dog on the back.
Oh yeah.
And I always go to pull the trigger, and then I'm like, it's just going to sit in my closet. But then there's part of me that's like, but then I'll go in my closet and I'll stare at it. I don't even have to wear it. I just know that I have it.
Yeah. Well, that's what me. I almost I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on the new Homage game day jacket.
Ooh, the one that we were
orange
talking
one.
about. Yeah.
It has the Browns on the back. I think it just has the helmet. I don't think it has the elf. It's the helmet, and then it has the sleeves have stripes on them. I'm thinking about doing it. I'm not a huge fan of the orange.
I know. I mean, if you're going hunting or where you're directing traffic, you're safe. But
Hey, what size jacket do you wear? Like if you were to get that jacket, that orange jacket that we're just talking about, what size
yeah,
would you get it in?
I think my jackets are medium.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my jackets are medium. I'll have to take a peek.
Because I bought my wife the Aaron Andrews wear one,
Yeah,
the new
my wife
orange
likes
puffy one.
the vest. That you've seen that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I asked my wife, I was like, "Do you want this one or do you want that one?" And she selected the puffier one because it gets brutally cold here. There is a point in Orlando where it's just, bleh. And so she said that she wanted that one, and but she had so I got her the small homage brown with browns on the front,
Yeah.
and I was gonna say if you want the because I know you wear size small like jerseys and stuff. If you want the size small homage jacket, let me know. I'll send it up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it might be too small. I have.
It is tight. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to check out because I have the homage one upstairs. Which
Did
one
you
do I
get the
have?
orange one? Did you get the orange one that came out last year?
No, I think mine's brown. Is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah, the one that it says Browns on the front.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
And
I think
so you
that's
have
one
the
I have.
jacket?
I think I have that one.
Okay.
I'll have to check
It's
after the
it's
show.
my
I'll go
favorite
up there.
thing. It's my
Yeah, I
favorite
like it.
Browns gear. Um, I was thinking like I actually was thinking about doing a weekly show of just shopping for Brown stuff.
Oh my God. You can make it a show and you could bring me on because that's what I do. I
So
mean,
we
here,
would just sit there and just go to all the different Brown shops and be like, what do we like? What should we buy?
look at the icon right here.
You gotta move it over a little bit more.
Which way?
The other way. There you go. There you go. Perfect. There, Browns.
See the shop?
Yeah.
I have the Brown shop as an app.
Now,
And then when I wake up in the morning, I go right there to see if there's
right
anything
there.
new.
Yeah, because you were the one who told me about the orange Chubb and then the orange women's Mayfield.
Yep.
Which for some reason, I mean, they put that on Fanatics like immediately. Like the next day, they put it on Fanatics, and I tweeted it out, and like nobody cared.
Yeah,
I don't know
you
if
know
like, do people just not care about women's jerseys?
maybe because let me look because I thought the same thing.
Like see if it's sold out of like usually they sell out a medium first.
Yeah, I thought for sure that it was going to move, but
I'm racing
there.
it to it.
They had some really nice rocks glasses on there today.
They're all available. Oh, you know what? I just got a shipment notice on.
Yeah.
I got a new hat coming.
Ooh.
I have the Browns the brown hat, flat bill, adjustable back, elf in the middle, white outline, and then the 75th anniversary patch on the side.
You're gonna laugh.
That's coming.
I've been going back and forth on it.
Yeah.
I think I might have even told you this. And so a funny story, and I think you know this story, but the first year that we started flying out to games, I had my good hat on. And I mean, they're all good, but in this particular year, it was like my favorite, and I'm like the flat brim king. But anyway, I had it on. I went through, the metal detector.
Yep.
And, you got to take the hat off, obviously, before you go through. And then I went through, and then he asked to see my hat. And then he proceeded to like mush my brim, like as if like me, I have, some sort of explosive,
some sort of contraband in the brim of the hat.
Right. In the brim of my hat, me. So
it's weird.
So I didn't like that much. Right. But then the clincher was later on in that year. So when he was messing around with my hat, going through the detector there, that was like the opener. So fast forward, I'll never forget this because it was my The Browns always have a game either on Laura's birthday or that same weekend. So we always go. It's always birthday weekend. So I remember distinctly it was birthday weekend. So I usually take like 3 or 4 hats with me. I strategically used to, because at the end of the story, I'll tell you what I do now, but I would strategically place the hats really nice inside of my suitcase, stack together, brim, 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 brim. And then I would tuck it underneath like my shorts and jerseys, or if it was pants or whatever, just to make sure that it stays flat. So my brims don't get jacked up.
Yeah.
Well, I get home and I open my suitcase and I'm like, what the hell is this note on top? And why does my stuff look all jacked up? Well, I was the random idiot that TSA opened the suitcase and took my shit out and then didn't have the decency to put it back in the same, and bent like 2 of my brims of my hats.
Oh, that would have drove me nuts.
Oh my God, Mike. I was so pissed. I saved the card as a remembrance as to why I continue to get pissed when I look at my hat. But anyway, long story short, I went out and I bought a 4-hat carrier. So now I put my hats in the carrier and then I put them in my book bag that I take on the flight.
Are they like shaped like the hat so they can't get crushed?
Yes, they're shaped like the hats.
Okay.
But so where I was totally going with this, but I gave you guys a nice little story along the way. I told Laura the other day, I said, you have to remind me, I need to put 1 less hat inside of my hat carrier, because if they have my size and the fitted elf with the 75th anniversary patch on the side at the pro shop, it's coming home with me.
Do they not have it on Fanatics?
They do, but I'll feel guilty if I buy another freaking hat. I mean, I've got, remember how I told you last week?
Yeah.
It was a away game, so it was the elf hat. So I felt like wearing this hat tonight, but I have this one next to me, which is the home hat, 1946, which I love. It's a great hat.
Now you also have like my favorite current hat that they have. And so I don't know what I'm doing. I am going nuts because I have my Cleveland Clothing Co., which just says CLE. Yep. No, I'm sorry, that's Sabo Apparel hat, CLE, and it's a mesh hat, like farmer hat. I can't find it. And then my favorite hat that I have that's a regular like actual Browns licensed hat, the Marty hat. You know, the Griswold, as you said.
You can't find it?
I don't know where it is. I don't lose it I didn't take it somewhere. I don't know where it is.
You need to get up like me in my closet. I've got 2 hat. It's not a rack. Each hat has its own compartment.
Is it like shelving, or is it like
it's sort of you attach it to your post, and then boop, 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 they all come down, and it's like little compartments. So I have two.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me a picture of that.
Yeah, it's like 8 down on each side, and,
well,
and mine are stuffed in hats.
My current favorite one, I think you wore it last week, the one with the brown elf with the
that's the away, orange. Yep, that's the away sideline hat.
Yes, exactly. That's the one I like.
Have that in here? No.
You were wearing it last week.
Yeah, I was, and then you won't.
And I can't find it on.
Is it sold out?
I can't even find it. They have the adjustable.
They don't have the fitted
curved. They have the curved bill.
You know me. As soon as that stuff comes out, I'm all over it.
Yeah, and you know what? That's why I sat there and I was like, you know what?
I have this. I bought this, and I bought the 1946, and I buy every one of these stupid sideline hats for the winter, and I don't even wear half of them, but I just know that I have it, and it makes me happy. But that one.
No, I like that one too. I honestly love that design of the dark elf with the it's like the color rush orange.
Yep.
You know, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think they might be. You know what though,
I
Mike?
don't see it on Fanatics. I'm looking right now, and I think it's gone.
They'll have it at. Well, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? Text me when you're at the pro shop.
Yeah, just let me know your size. I'm sure they
If
have it.
so, I don't like the fitted though. I like the adjustable
Oh,
ones.
the snapback.
Yeah, I like snapbacks.
They don't even have the snapback on here.
No.
Huh. Yeah, you know what? They have all the versions of the 1946,
Hey,
which do you hate that one?
no, I don't
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
it. It's just like
I like that one.
it's weird because it just like says like 1946 with the 1946 patch. It's just like not my. Yeah, it's okay. It's just I like the elf, man. The elf is my favorite
I
thing.
know. I do too.
Have you
He's
have you seen
yeah.
the Gatorade? Have you seen the Browns Gatorade hat?
There's a Gatorade hat.
The new era makes a Browns Gatorade hat that is
Come
it's
on.
flat brim.
Yeah.
It has the Browns a non-puffy just a flat embroidered helmet on the front,
Right.
and then from about from here to the back, it's all brown and it has orange lightning bolts all around it. And then the best part about it, and then it has the a white NFL embroidery on the back of the tip. The best part about it is the brim underneath here. The brim
Yeah.
is orange with
Hold on.
with the Gatorade lightning bolt.
What site is this on? Is it on the New Year site?
It's just go to the Brown shop
All right, I'm in there.
on Fanatics and just type in Gatorade.
You know what I do have? Because again, oh man, that we're going to sell out of this and it's cool. I want it. I have the Gatorade Browns towel that they put out last year.
Yeah, so when I typed it in, I was like, there it is. It's a Gatorade towel.
Oh,
and
that is pretty cool.
You can still get it. Yeah, it's cool. It's just different, right?
Yeah,
Like there's not going to be a lot of people who are going to walk around with like the Gatorade.
that is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and the brim's orange with the that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but they're getting man, I clicked on the
Mike,
right thing.
I have stuff in my drawer. So
Kleiners, not 21. Welcome.
some of you know, because I've talked about this before, Mike, you know, but like I transformed my closet into like Brown's heaven. I have everything. And then I have one drawer that is dedicated to Brown stuff. And I was looking through this drawer yesterday and I still have stuff in the wrapper. I was going through the drawer and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh, that's that cool Crucial Catch shirt that I bought 2 years ago. I haven't even opened it yet. The warm-up pants from last year with the elf on it, still in the wrapper. Meanwhile, I just bought like the gray pants with the matching sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Which will be my plain attire as it starts getting colder.
Okay.
But I mean, I've got shit for days and I'm still buying. I can't help it. Like that Brown's gear is literally like, that is my vice.
Yeah.
My brothers call me Coach Cannoli when they see me all the time because I'm like head to toe in Brown's gear.
Well, my wife gets mad because whenever I'm like, oh, I want to buy this, like I'm really like it. She's like, don't you have like 30 hats? Don't you have a jacket already? My wife like constantly, don't you have, like that's her favorite thing to say. And then I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I'm like, Ristano is gonna get it, and let me just text him and see if he likes it. And then she's
you know
like,
what I brought on the show
she's
tonight?
like, no, don't text him because I don't care what Ristano says. Like she gets all mad. I throw it out there as some variable that like matters. I'm like, well, Ristano. By the way, I should give it. Hold on, before you say your next thing, let me give away the Sabre Apparel shirt.
Oh yeah.
The number was 28. So we had
go figure. You picked the kid's number.
I did. I had to do it. Michael Gradowski, if you're still here, Michael. I don't know if you're still here or not. But Michael Gradowski, you are the winner of the Sabo apparel. And you know what?
Nice.
I was again. If he's not here, we'll hold it for him. But if he is here, then Michael Gradowski wins. There's no other way for me to get in touch with him because I don't know everybody on Twitter or anything either. So
Do we wait till next week? What do we do? Or the post?
I mean, if Gradowski's not still here, then we'll give away 2 next week.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. You got to stay in the chat. Anyway, you were going to say something.
So I think you know where I'm going. Speaking of conversations and, oh man, I really want this thing, but my wife's going to kill me.
Are we talking about the pendant?
I feel like I told you this the other day. I feel like I cost us the Kansas City Chiefs game because I bought the pendant and I was going to break it out on opening day, and I was so wound up, and I was rushing, grabbed a shower, got into my gear, sat on the couch, and totally forgot about the pendant. So I feel like I'm somewhat responsible for the loss, but I got to unveil this thing, right?
Yeah.
So it comes in this sleek little box.
Wait,
right?
First of all, before you do,
Yeah.
where did you buy it from? What site did you get it on?
So this is gld.com.
Okay. I think I've been getting advertisements on like Instagram for that.
Probably because they know that I know, and I got it, and they're like,
they know. They know.
We're gonna throw that shit at that Keeley guy because he's gonna sucker up and buy it too. So we'll do a little.
I just went to the website. I have been getting the freaking advertisements for this, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the pendant that Restano got, but I was like, I'm not sure, but it looks really similar to it.
Comes in this nice bag. I don't even know if you guys are ready for this.
I'm ready.
And the wife saw it. She said, "Oh God, really?" And I said, "Absolutely." Let me take it out of the little plastic it came in.
Double bagged.
I don't want to muck it up with my fingers. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it. Look at that, man. Okay, are they real stones? Like what are we looking at from a material standpoint?
So from a stone standpoint, those are cubic zirconias.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted the diamonds,
mm-hmm.
you were looking at 2,500. I wasn't getting crazy. Then I'd be doing the show from the gutter.
Yeah.
On my phone, if I still had service. So obviously I went with the cubic zirconia, which it was still $100.
Doesn't look bad though.
But yeah. So, and I got this really slick chain that goes with it.
Did you get it from the same place? From the same store?
I certainly did. 14 karat gold plated. Now they do have a necklace that has the same stones as the top here.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it. I mean, that would have, a nice little rope chain is one thing. If I broke this out with this cubic zirconia chain, I wasn't making it out alive.
You know what?
So needless to say, that'll be on this weekend.
Needless to say, well, that's good. You know, I'm happy for it because I love just impulsive Browns spending, and because I do it myself, and I feel like, well, I know Mike would buy it if he liked it, he would get it. So why can't I get it? You know,
this was a this was a very thought out purchase. This one, as you know, because you were part of the process.
Oh, I remember you were. I knew you wanted it. You know, I could just tell. I'm like, I know you want it. I'm not going to talk you out of it.
Yeah, I had to do it. Yeah. So I'm in. I'm in. I am all about the Browns bling.
You know what? I'm trying to. when I got that 25% off coupon
Yeah.
from Fanatics, I went. So you tweeted it out today. The $10,000, like, was it a diamond helmet?
Yeah. The Swarovski.
Okay, so I went and I just sorted by the most expensive thing.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, yeah, if you're going to buy it with the 25% off coupon code. And it brings it down to like $7,500. So you're saving like $2,500 off
Who
that damn thing.
I feel like nobody's ever. I look at it this way.
What a ridiculous thing to buy.
It's been there for like 4 years, and I can't imagine that they made multiples of that. Like, I feel like that's the same one that's just, they're like, shit, we can't get rid of this thing. Like, did they eventually put it on discount?
When I had that coupon code, I think the coupon code still works. I clicked on it again and it was still getting the discount. So I don't know, but I was actually looking to buy like maybe one of the practice jerseys or something like that. Because one of the Wyatt Tellers was they have two Wyatt Teller ones that are out there. But I was like, man, I don't want to give a shit about a practice jersey. Like, I could get a brown Wyatt Teller practice jersey for $600.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do with that?
I don't know.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like technically a piece of like real, memorabilia. It's real memorabilia. It's not like just like the game used pants.
Yeah.
But
I almost pulled the trigger on those ones.
But you know what? They're always from games that we lost.
Yes.
And I'm like, if it was like, maybe a game I went to or I had some sort of sentimental value,
Yeah.
maybe, but like,
I agree.
I don't care about, like, it's tough. Cause then you're like, hey, those are, Ogunjobi's pants. And somebody's like, well, why do you have his pants?
But what's funny is I get like, I take it like to another level where I'm like, picture I'm sitting there scrolling and I come across the pants and then I see like the top and then like my wheels start turning. I'm like, and everything with me is, oh, when I finish my bar down the basement and I put my, my stuff out, this would be one of those things. And so what happens is I see the pants and then I see the jersey and I'm like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a mannequin and I'm going to dress this thing up in game use gear and display it.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with that. I thought you were just going to do like the jersey and then like kind of like what you have with your Jim Brown right there. What I could see you buying pants and putting it right over your shoulder. So you got the jersey and the pants. Right. It framed, right? Framed. But the mannequin takes it to another level.
It really
man.
Does. And I said that out loud with my wife next to me, and she's like, "There's something wrong with you." I'm like,
so let me ask you this:
I can't help it.
Would you do a game worn pants, and would it have to be with a game worn jersey? Would you try to like match it, or would you get like game worn pants with like a practice jersey?
No, I think you'd have to go with the game. And the funny thing is too, is that if you go on, like you can go on eBay every now and again, and you could find game used socks. Like they have socks on there for like, $40. And then
there you go. Okay.
Yeah. And I've almost pulled the trigger on those, but then at the same time, I didn't even think about this. I have a pair of game used Travis Benjamin Browns gloves that he autographed, which would be perfect for the mannequin hands. I didn't even think about this.
Okay. So you can get game, and then you could always get a helmet. Yeah. Probably not a game used helmet though.
Just a regular one.
You could get a regular, and then you could get pads. Just get one for Baker's yard sale.
Oh, you know what? My dad just threw away my old Donzies. He kept taking pictures of them. It's like they're in great shape. Do you want them? Like, what the hell am I going to do with them? Well, I'm going to play in the backyard.
Yeah.
And he said that. He goes, they're a beautiful color. Look at they're orange and black. You can maybe take them to Cleveland with you and get one of the guys to sign them. I'm like, I'm not playing that game. Like, nope. But here we are.
That's a lot. There's a lot to like lug around.
Yeah, who's lugging those things around
Okay,
in the hopes of getting an autograph on?
Let me throw something else at you then. Okay.
Yeah.
To make it even, just to add a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
A game used ball that you put in its hand.
Oof.
So it's like authentic jersey, authentic pants, authentic socks. Helmet we'll figure out because I don't think you can get them. I don't think they put the helmets on the market. But you can still buy the helmet. Like you could buy the helmet, right? They're actually not bad.
No. I do have, and it's funny because my dad's a big memorabilia collector, but before he got into that, and back when we were younger, like you really weren't thinking about stuff like that. Like, oh, there's a football. We're going to throw that thing around in the street.
See you, Ryan.
But hey, see ya. My uncle, my great uncle, caught a ball after a field goal at a Jets game back in the day, Joe Namath era.
Okay.
And he gave it to my dad, and my dad gave it to us. And we really didn't think about the ramifications of it back then. So that was the outside ball for a while. So he later put it in with his collection of stuff, but we scuffed the hell out of that thing. But man, we had a gamer.
Hey, I mean, game balls are actually expensive. Like the actual ball itself. Okay, here's the other thing, man. I'm trying to continue moving this in the direction of insanity.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the game pants, game socks. You can get game cleats too. You can get them. I mean, you might have to call in a favor.
I have a pair of Browns cleats, not game used, but they're the ones they use.
Okay.
I mean, Jesus, I'm almost there. I got
honestly,
a lot of stuff.
I mean, even if you're like, hey, the only thing that's not game used is the hat and the cleats.
Yeah.
Or the helmet and the cleats. Okay, that's not bad, right? But and then the game used ball, right? The only problem, here's my problem. I got two things on this. Number one, like footballs aren't like baseballs for like a memorabilia standpoint. If anybody's owned signed footballs, they deflate. So they're annoying. You have to pump them up like fairly consistently. At least once a year, you got to pump the damn thing up. And it's annoying because they leak. But anyways, you get the ball. And then in the other hand, right? And you have the gloves, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the other hand, you get one of the silver minted game coins. Like right?
It's sad. If I told you that I didn't have that in my cart at one point, I would be lying to you.
Oh my god, dude! The Steelers game one, the Steelers playoff game one.
Yeah, I had that one.
I had that in my cart probably 7 times, and I can't. And it was on sale for like $23, and I was like,
it kept going on sale.
I'm just gonna get it, and then I was like, what the hell am I going to do with a freaking...
Correct.
What am I going to do with a collectible coin? Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to be like, man, I'll give you $30 for it.
I will say...
But now I kind of wish I did because they don't sell them. They don't sell it anymore.
You know what I did start doing? Every game that I go to, I buy the pin. Because they have like the game pin.
Yeah.
And... I don't know why. That's
cool.
It was my first trip in. Yeah, it was my first trip in. And they keep them.
How much are they? Like $5?
Register. Yeah, I think they're like $5.99 or $6.99, and they're cool designs and stuff. So I saw it and I was like, oh, let me snag one. So then every time I went, I snagged one, and they're kind of cool because I keep them in that drawer that I was telling you about that has all the shit in there that I still have stuff in the wrapper.
Just tossing it in.
And yeah, so I have them like at the bottom of it. So when I'm going through that drawer to look for something, I'll come across the pins, and then it's like a stroll down memory lane. Then I'm yanking them all out and I'm like looking at them and stuff. So they have some worth to them.
Hey, by the way, the pants are currently on. They must be like on a fire sale right now.
Oh boy.
They are on sale for. They're usually $249 for game use pants. They're
Ooh.
$162 right now.
Can you throw your 20% coupon on top of that?
I'm gonna check that right now. I
Oh
was thinking the same thing.
You are going to be wearing
Fanatics,
those around town.
25%. Cleveland Browns, thanks for your order. Where's my coupon?
I have a 30% season ticket coupon that I keep forgetting to use that I got to make sure that I don't let it go to waste. You know what we totally did? We totally screwed everybody out of the offensive PFF grades.
We did. We could save them. We could save them for the pregame show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna. You're okay. So we got to think of logistics for this game because you're gonna be there, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Okay. So what are? Let's just talk about this first. What are your plans? What are you planning on doing the morning of the game?
So usually we'll get up, we'll have coffee, and we'll have a little bit of breakfast, and then we get in our game gear, and then depending on what time it is, we'll be heading down to West Third and Summit, and there's a whole bunch of Twitter friends that are going to be there. That's like the really cool hang over at West Third and Summit. That's Top Dog Tailgate, Eric's thing, and my friend Mike will be there. Ryan Crowley will be there. Slim Dog from Twitter. I know you know the handle. He'll be there.
Yeah. I know Slim Dog.
Lauren Dodge, she'll be there. Yeah, it's a good time. We enjoy it down there, and then it's cool because it's literally, right there to the stadium.
Okay, so if I sync up with you that morning,
Yeah.
could you like maybe could I have you call in?
Oh, I could call in.
Could
Do
you
a little spot.
Yeah, call in. The code no longer works, by the way. The code is out. It just says "Oops, there's a problem with that code." So it must be expired code.
That's the worst. When you knew you blew it.
Well,
and you look through the stuff. But you also, got.
Sometimes when they do a steep discount on a product, like the camo jacket, the camo military appreciation jacket.
Yeah,
it's down to like $55. And if I could have applied the 25% off on that, I would have got it. I would have got it for my dad. But it wouldn't let me apply it. So I was like, well, then no. So Anyway, so you're going to be at the tailgate and we're going to be able to dial. We'll try to, since we're doing it on Zoom now, you could call in and we could just talk to you like just over the phone. If you don't want to do hold your phone up.
I could hold my phone up for a little while.
Okay. I mean, then you could show us around and
yeah, I could show you what's going on for a few minutes.
Yeah, go over it. If you see anybody over there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we've been at it for just coming up on 2 hours now. We probably should check out.
Yeah.
So, and I guys, I would have given the Sabo apparel to the next person, but I felt bad that I waited so long. So I want to give our guy, Michael Gradowski, a chance to come back next week and get it. So if he's back, I'll give it to him. If not, we'll give away 2 next week. Is that fair for everybody? Plus, we're going to win and we're going to give away a Victory Monday mug.
Yes.
So lots of giveaways on the Wednesday show next week. Lots of giveaways. Thank you, Blastan. Thank you very much. Cleveland BCI. Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to Sabo Apparel. Thank you to dogwoofs.com, to Schlegel Law, to our friends at Thrive Fantasy, everybody who's helping out, everybody on the Patreon. By the way, guys, you can join the channel here now. You can be a subscriber on the channel. I don't think we have a subscriber yet, but if you, I'm pretty sure you can subscribe to the channel. Actually, everybody in chat right now, is the join channel, does that exist? Is it showing up, the join? Because it should be like next to where you say subscribe, you should say join or subscribe. If that's there, we don't have a subscriber yet. which
I
is
see.
fun.
I don't see it, and I'm logged in, but I don't see it.
You don't see it? Okay. Well,
I see
maybe.
subscribed and then the bell.
Okay, so there's no join. Huh.
No, I don't see a join.
I don't know what I'm doing then. Like I don't know why I'm. It's got to be a setting that I have off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blasane says I've been a subscriber for a while. So like, there's a difference on YouTube between a subscriber and somebody who joins the channel as a member. It's almost like like a subscriber on Twitch is a paid subscriber. On YouTube, it's just like a follower basically. They should change it to following and subscribing, but I think
Yeah.
it's like so ingrained into like the Twitter like ethos that they don't want to change that.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for Mike. Thanks for as always for
Yeah.
joining and
Great time as always.
co-hosting the excellent Wednesday show. Thank you for the PFF score updates. And we're almost 2 hours here, so it's probably a good time to wrap up, right? My wife just got home, so
Yeah. Good
it's about
stuff.
right time.
Always a good time.
Yeah, always a good time. Exactly. So everybody, thank you very, very much, and we will see you. We'll probably go live. It's a 1:00 game. We'll probably be live around 11:00 on Sunday. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If not, you're playing with fire because you may miss us. And also, if anybody's still here, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet on this. Ara, Norman, Blaston, Blast one in. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Blast. Maddie B's in the house. Maddie, what's going on, man? Cleveland BCI, of course. AW's in the house. There's just a lot of people. A lot of regulars are here, and some new faces as well. So thank you guys very much, and we'll be back next Wednesday, every Wednesday, or at around 7:00, and we'll see you on Sunday. Go Browns!
Go Browns. See you guys from the pound.
All right.